you. Thank you. I think this is great. Wow, I need my readers. Thank you, and thank you, Shaquita. That was like, what an opening. And I love how Marty just pops up. You know, I mean, who knew? Like, Marty is in Australia, and now he was with us. I mean, I think that was really, really cool. I just want to thank the Deutsch team of New York, and I think they're here for creating that video. Like, this incredible team, and Val, the CEO, is here. Thank you so much, Val. There's so many people to bring this together, and I just want to say a few thank yous to our Gala chairs, Andre W. Martins and Stephanie Astif. The most incredible publicity team from 1111 Media Relations, Juliana Martins, who's actually the daughter of Andre Martins. So that's why that happened. So thank you so much, especially our board of directors. Can our board stand? I want you to see all of them. This incredibly dedicated. I really can't see Jeffrey and Andre and Gina, board chair Gina, and Joe Mode, and Beth Brinkman, our Gala, our board chair, who's she's like the foundation. She's like this incredible. We meet every week and we talk. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? Help. So a lot of executive directors, let me be honest with you, we're not sleeping much. Let me just say that. I just want to really shine a light on our programming managers, Marilena and Raul. Where are they? Marilena and Raul is over here. Marilena, where are they? Marilena's right here. They create the magic in our schools. They're extraordinary. This is their life's work. This is what they do. This is what we do. We talk on, we have these Zoom meetings, and we're always saying how fortunate we are that we get to do the work that we do. And we see the transformation with the students. We see them, especially when Raul does the voguing workshops. I mean, we do voguing, and maybe you'll get a little bit of that later. We do have a stage, Raul, and he's really, really good. I was just talking to a teacher where he came, and he's like, the students were really shy, and then they got really into it. And then the two teachers did a Vogue off. So that's what's happening. And I think it's so important for us. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. And our social work intern, Sophie. Where's Sophie? She's at the beginning of her career. She accompanies our program managers. She sees things through new eyes, and we're so grateful for her to be a part of it. So yes, Marty talked about bringing back the Homecoming Project, inviting the queer community to go back to their hometown high school, to inspire the next generation, to support the next generation. When the Homecoming Project was in play, that glass is really dirty. We sent 176 people back to 26 states. It was incredible. The gentleman that you saw who went back after he won the Oscar was Lance Black. So after he won the Oscar for Milk, we got him to go back, and over 1,000 students piled into the auditorium. And it was an extraordinary, extraordinary day. And actually, one young man came out in front of the assembly, and we all braced. We had our film crew there, and we all braced, like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? And we just heard students just shout out, we love you, we love you. And Lance later shared, he goes, and the kid was Mormon, and Lance was Mormon, and he's like, that was me, and I could have never done what he did. And it was interesting because I spoke with him after, and you could turn your chair around because you're going to get a stiff neck. And it's okay. Maybe a little bit more. So, and it was so interesting because when we went back, we thought, oh, this is great, but we didn't know what was going on in the school. So the student who I said, can you write, the student who came out, I said, can you write a reflection? And he shared with, like, half the school didn't want us there. They didn't want Lance to come back, and the other part of the school did want us. And we had no idea, so it was very, very interesting, and it was very, very nerve-wracking. But we did it. We did a beautiful short documentary that I will send to all of you this evening. I want to get home. But I want to shine a light on this incredible partner and sponsor of ours called Colgate, who made it possible to bring back the Homecoming Project. So thank you to Colgate. We've been connecting, like we've been together. We've had this wonderful love affair for the last 12 years, and it's been a love affair, And I have to say, and I know Shaquita is going to thank our sponsors, but without you, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be doing the work that we're doing. So I just, I just want to make sure that from the deepest part of me how grateful we all are for you to support us financially, so we get to do the work with the students and we get to really see them blossom, because these students are extraordinary. You wait to see the scholarship winners, and they're over here. Where are they? The scholarship winners. They're right here. And they're amazing. And I got you some pipe cleaners on your table if you want to make things. People just like to make things with pipe cleaners. And someone actually took them off their table, and an adult group took them off the table, and now the adults are playing with pipe cleaners. Anyway, so a little bit about us, just in case you don't know, about Live Out Loud. We, especially now, we're all about, okay, I'm trying to read what I wrote. So the most important thing that we could do right now as a community is be in action, and that's what we're all about. Live Out Loud is all about being present on school grounds and being in communication with students, but not only queer students, but straight students, with teachers, to really bring in understanding, and with our programs, we're in any one month, we can be in 25 schools, talking and inspiring and encouraging, and bringing an understanding to teachers who may just not get it. And I know that Raul shared this story about one teacher Raul does the professional development. He was talking about being an ally, and this one teacher got up and she said, "This is against my belief." And what do you do as a manager? How do you handle that? And thank God, another teacher got up and he said, bottom line is we're here for the students. And I think that's the message that we need to start communicating. And it's like, no, we don't want to deny your beliefs, but just realize that your beliefs may be harmful. And I know that it sounds really dramatic, but it's so true. One of the program that Marilena leads is our school program. We partner with GSA clubs on a monthly basis. We provide identity-affirming curriculum that focuses on queer topics. Marilena guides students exploring cultural awareness, community action, and we bring in role models from the community just to share their stories, which is so important. And we just, we want to take the mind of young people and just kind of expand it. And I think we forget what a small world high school is. It's a very, very small world. So when you're in high school, you're either in high school, you're at the library, you're at the mall. Maybe I'm talking about my high school years. Or you're on the block, but that's it. So we're trying to okay, let's just infuse them with new possibilities, new visions for their lives. But most important, we're listening, for our kids. And it's so important, sometimes we just need to stop and to listen. And I remember I was attending this one session with Marilena and this one young man, was talking about how the underclassmen were now bullying the upperclassmen, and that teachers weren't responding to the harassment, the homophobic and the transphobic remarks. And you could see there was such fear, and I could see his eyes. There was such fear, but Marilena just jumped in, and she was like, "Listen," she quickly offered advice, solutions, and resources. And I just, like, that moment where he was sharing what he was going through, and then Marilena just comforting and just like, here's an opportunity, let's look at it in a new way. And I said to him, I go, I know this is tough right now, but it will serve you. And it was so beautiful to see David, this is the gentleman's name, he felt comforted that he was actually listened to. And I think that's something that we could do a better job, is listening to our young people and offering help and support and understanding. Our 360 program that Raul leads, we do professional development with teachers. And again, it's bringing understanding, whether it's being an ally, a workshop on being an ally, or bracing identities. And I think what's important and what really Raul is really good about is building relationships, building a series, because people will not just get it in one workshop. So it's really building a series and bringing an understanding and kind of like, I hate to say hammering it over and over again, but just talking about it and being in conversation. And I think that's what Raul does really, really well. What I love, and I was just talking to someone, Rachel. There's Raquel and Rachel. So I'm gonna get switched. We do a behind the scenes program. I was just talking to Rachel. We were at NBC last week. So we bring students to companies, and in the fall we were at BT, we were at SiriusXM Media. Last week we were at NBC, and we had this incredible panel, and they were so vulnerable and so open. And this one young man, Dyer, he was talked about being rejected. I went through and I applied for this and I was rejected. And then I said to everyone, it's like, were you ever rejected? And that was such like a beautiful, vulnerable conversation. And we all talked about being rejected. And I think they just talked about it. I just listened. But they were so vulnerable, and I was so appreciated. And I know the kids, you could see the joy and the understanding. And there's a couple of Connor, their teachers here, and he shared some of the testimonials with me, and I wanted to just share a couple. And one of the students said, he goes, on the panel there was Stephen, Dyer, and Rachel. So one student said, I like Stephen. He seemed chill. He was passionate about research like me. I paid attention to that because I like to research what I'm passionate about myself. Another student wrote, I really like Rachel because she was doing so much. She literally inspired Stephen. And I just love that because Stephen was sharing how because of Rachel, like their coworkers, because of Rachel, he was supported. You're in this company, and he goes, I felt so supported by Rachel. And you could just see the admiration for him. And he got the most likes from the kids. I mean, I'm sorry, Dyer and Rachel, but he did. They just loved him. They were just like so. And then after, like we always do an action project, so after they were like, Fred, MMVC, he was like, we're gonna have them make speeches like they won an Academy Award or Golden Globe, and they got into it. They came up to the front of the room and they were giving their speeches like they were at the awards, and it was so much fun to see. But when you think about it, when you're in high school, imagine you're in high school, you're in, I don't know, you're in 9th, 10th grade, and you're all of a sudden you're at NBC. You're at SiriusXM, you're at BET Media, and they're just, again, it's just opening their worlds, opening their minds to what's possible, and I think that's been so beautiful. I just want to not talk too long, because I want you to meet the kids, and I'm going to cut out a page, and you're going to be thankful. because you get to drink a little bit more, you get to eat a little bit more, you get to hear Jeffrey Banks a little bit more, you get to hear Tommy Dorfman and Raquel Chevromont. Over here, our honorees and our kids. So, thank you, whoever you are. That's a good, deep voice. Maybe he's single. But now, so, yeah, I just cut a page out. Lucky you all. So, in January, I met with the creative team at Deutsch. This was in January to unveil the collateral. We've been working with Deutsch for over 12 years. They've done our logo, they did our campaign. Yeah, let's give them a hand, Deutsch. Deutsch, over here, Deutsch over here. We've been with them for 12 years. They've done our logo, they created our Homecoming Project campaign years ago. They've been with us every step of the way. Showing us the collateral, their team, Tori and Andrew, and who's coordinating and producing, and their designer Iggy in Argentina, and then Christos, the copywriter and wordsmith. And we went going through the creatives, and there was one that really stood out, and it actually scared me. And it kind of gave me a chill, and I just like this one header, this headline, whatever you want to call it, really just spoke to me, and it was called, and we have a poster over there, Step into the Spotlight, right? Step into the spotlight, and just think about, what does that mean? And it hit me for some reason. I wasn't sure why, and maybe it was a reminder of something to do, some action to take that I wasn't aware of, or even avoiding. You have to think about that. You're stepping into the spotlight. What do I need to be doing, and what am I avoiding? Lots of things. But I haven't really thought about it these last 5 months. I kind of forgotten about it, and of course everything has changed in the last 5 months. It's all different now, right? Isn't it? It's all very different. As one sponsor said to me on the phone a couple of months ago, she goes, "There's a target on the back of the LGBT community." And I said, "Yes, you got that right." And I said, "Here's the challenge right now. Our students are feeling it. They're asking, will they shut down our GSA clubs? Will ICE show up at their schools? Will our transgender friends get the care that they need?" There's a lot of fear, and I think we're feeling that fear as adults, but we know how to deal with it and cope with it and eat our way out of it or whatever. But there's a fear that has taken hold, and I think as a community, we must break this hold. I think it's important to remind ourselves that the LGBT community is resilient. And listen to this, we are the creators, we are the innovators, and we are the visionaries. So just take that in, because that's who we are, that's who all of you are. We bring the light, the love, the beauty, and the laughter. That's just who we are as a community. We are like the common thread that runs through everything. You can't get away from us. We will get through this moment. I know new programs, and this is really important, I know new programs will be created, new organizations will come into existence, new campaigns will be initiated to not only empower us at this time, but to uplift the world. The question, and I'm ending because Carol is waving at me, the question that we have to ask ourselves is, how will I step into the spotlight? How will we as a community step into the spotlight? It's going to look different for every one of us, and that's exciting. But we will triumph. We always do. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And please welcome to the stage Jeffrey Banks, everybody. It's all right, Leo. It's all right. I got you, Leo.
I screwed up. I'm so
I got you,
sorry.
baby. I got you.
You got me?
I got you, baby.
Where are you?
Come. I'm invisible. I'm the invisible drag queen.
She's like, wow, I really screwed up. Now it's my pleasure to introduce you to our first honoree, an award-winning American fashion designer, writer, and pioneer in social activism. Please welcome to our stage the recipient of Live Out Loud's Luminary Award, Jeffrey Banks.